What is going on, everybody? Royal Rapids here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Fire Red Legendary Speedrun. Today, we're going to be taking on the box art legendary of Pokemon Sapphire, that being the water-type Kyogre. Now, as you can see, Kyogre, just like its partner Groudon, is absolutely busted, with 100 HP, 100 attack, a measly just 90 defense and 90 speed, with an absolutely monster 150 special attack and 140 special defense. Its stats mirror Groudon's, except for the fact that its physical and special stats are swapped. But what gives Kyogre a leg up over Groudon and over other legendaries is the fact that it sets up Rain, and also gets the benefit of having Water-type Stab on top of the Rain. Mix that in with the fact that there are really not a lot of opponents in the game that can change weather, and that makes a recipe for an absolutely busted Pokemon. Kyogre's always been a 100% Uber in every single generation it's been, being at the top of the Uber viability list every single time. So I'm certain that it is going to absolutely annihilate the game of Pokemon Fire Red. So without further ado, I name my Kyogre Sapphire to fit with the legendary naming theme, as Gary just picks a measly little Bulbasaur. And look at this here, in the rain, we start with Water Pulse, which is a pretty good stab move, 60 power, 100 accuracy, chance to confuse. And even though it's resisted, it's almost doing half, as Bulbasaur was able to do literally nothing to us, and we polish him off with taking 2 HP of damage. As you can see though, we didn't gain a lot of XP, but that's because like most legendaries, Kyogre is in the slow EXP group. I allow myself to manipulate my starter, so I give Kyogre a modest nature to boost its special attacks, as pretty much all of our useful moves in this run will be special, as well as giving it perfect IVs, because I'm not going to use hidden power in this run. I'm trying to take on as many trainers as I can early, including the optional rival, because you need as much XP as you can with these slow growth rate Pokemon, or else the Elite Four can be pretty difficult if you're under-leveled. Once again, even though Bulbasaur resists our attacks, can't do anything in return due to our still pretty solid 90 defense and 100 HP, allowing us to polish him off with a few Water Pulses, leading into the freest battle of the run. Here's Brock. He has 2 Rock and Ground types that are quad weak to water, with the Rain set up, and they both have 2 special defense. I didn't even bother healing. I had 4 Water Pulses, and I knew I'd only need 2. As a Water Pulse apiece, down the weak Geodude and Onix, earning us the Boulder Badge and also the Badge Boost for attack, boosting our already pretty solid 100 attack, which is why I didn't feel too bad going for a modest nature. So saving the game 25 minutes in, it's time to move on. While fighting a random trainer, Kyogre does learn Ancient Power, and with its 100 base attack and Brock's Badge Boost, despite the modest nature, it should still do some pretty good damage. After picking up a hidden rare candy, it's time to take on rival number 2 here at Nugget Bridge. He lived with Pidgeotto, and I do go for Ancient Power, although I do think Water Pulse probably would have got the one-shot. Regardless, we're not heavily punished as we get through to Bulbasaur with 55 HP remaining. A Water Pulse does over half, but Bulbasaur does manage to hit a Sleep Powder. After breaking out of confusion really quickly, he starts laying into us with Vine Whips. Even though we do have really good special defense, if he hit a few crits or if we stayed asleep longer, we would have got our first reset of the run. Regardless, it's free here, as Abra can't do damage, and we outspeed and one-shot the Rattata, escaping a potential disaster against the rival here on Nugget Bridge. After fighting a few more trainers, I do eventually learn Body Slam, which is a pretty solid neutral attack, 85 power, 100 accuracy with the chance to paralyze. Like I said, we are a special attacker, but I will not mind having good neutral hits into Misty's water types. After freeing Bill from his Pokemon prison and earning the SS ticket, it's time to take on the aforementioned water type gym leader. Saving in front of her with an hour and 11 minutes on the clock, she leads off with Staryu, level 18. We're 5 levels above her, and a single resisted Water Pulse takes the Staryu out, leading into Starmie. Now obviously Starmie is bulkier, so I go for Body Slam. Although I think Water Pulse would have done more, which I verify here, as it does over half, taking out the Starmie, earning us our second Kanto Gym Badge. This run has been absolutely free thus far, and I'm excited to see what Kyogre is going to be able to do against the Electric-type gym. Before Surge, though, we do have to worry about rival number 3 here on the SSN. Water Pulse one-shots the Pidgeotto. In comes Ivysaur. Now, Sleep Shenanigans could get potentially dangerous here. However, 2 Water Pulses get the job done, with just a soft Vine Whip in between. In comes Eradicate. 1 Water Pulse gets the job done, and of course, Kadabra is super physically frail, and also pretty specially frail. So a Rain-boosted Water Pulse takes it out in one shot, earning us a painless victory over the rival number 3. After weirdly rubbing the captain's back and picking up the HM for cut, it's going to be time to head into Lieutenant Surge's gym. Now, I am a little worried about this, as he does have fast electric types that can potentially do some pretty good damage into my Kyogre. However, with 140 special defense and 100 HP, I think we can take quite a few hits out of his relatively weak electric types. First up is Voltorb, who is pretty fast. However, with our level advantage, we outspeed in one shot. In comes Pikachu. If we outsped Voltorb, we outspeed Pikachu, and down it goes in one hit. Last but not least is a Raichu. We have a 4 level advantage on it, and it also goes down in one hit. So Kyogre is so busted that it takes on a gym leader that it's pretty close in level with that it's weak to. All outspeeds in one-shots as we get a damageless victory over the electric-type master, well, quote-unquote master, Lieutenant Surge. At level 30, Kyogre learns Calm Mind. which has a chance to be absolutely busted in conjunction with Water Pulse and other special moves we're going to learn later in the run. So yeah, Kyogre, definitely a better moveset and better typing than Groudon, and thus far, way better results. Well, another battle against the rival here. He has Ivysaur with Sleep Powder, so you never know what's going to happen. First off, though, Pidgeotto goes down in a single Water Pulse, leading into Ivysaur. Water Pulse is over half, and he hits a Sleep Powder. Now we're on a timer here. He has Razor Leaf, which has a high critical hit chance. Fortunately, he misses one here. He does get a critical hit down to 36 HP, but we wake up just in time to avoid our first reset. We're not out of the water yet, though, as Gyarados can do some pretty good damage, as we get an Omni Boost with Ancient Power, which means Thrash has a little less damage thanks to the defense boost. Fortunately, we take him down in one more Water Pulse, and the rest of his team is going to be outspeed one-shots. So we got a little unlucky, but also a little lucky. We stayed asleep for 3 or 4 turns against Ivysaur, but fortunately, we get an Omni Boost against Gyarados, and we can outspeed in one-shot the remainder of his team, earning another Deathless victory. My favorite part of the Kanto games is this point in the game where you get kind of a boss rush, and Kyogre learns Ice Beam just in time for it, giving it a much-needed answer into those grass types that we weren't able to really do much damage to before. Without further ado, after clearing the route next to Celadon City, we can head to the game corner and take on the first Giovanni boss battle. Obviously, his first 2 Pokemon, being Onix and Rhyhorn, mean that'll be 2 easy outspeed and one-shots with Water Pulse, just leaving behind Kangaskhan, who is a little bit higher level. However, we do have a 7-level advantage on it, meaning that a Water Pulse and Ice Beam combo is able to get the job done, earning us an almost damageless victory over Giovanni. Now, next up is Erica, who I would usually skip at this point due to her type advantage over us. However, all her gym trainers are outspeeds and one-shots with either Body Slam or Ice Beam, so I have no reason to believe that her grass types will not suffer the same fate. First is Victory Bell, one-shot with Ice Beam. Next up is Tangela, who's level 24 for some reason, obviously going to be a one-shot with Ice Beam. And last but not least is Vileplume, who's a little more bulky, but our 150 special attack means you one-shot it with Ice Beam, earning an easy, damageless gym battle over the grass-type gym leader. So back-to-back gym leaders with a type advantage against us, back-to-back damageless wins. Next up, though, we're going to have a bit of a challenge. We're going to take on the rival in Silphco. This tends to be where I get a reset in a lot of these legendary speedruns. However, a good start here as Pidgeot goes out in one hit. Now we have an answer for Venusaur, who we crit with an Ice Beam in one shot. I'm not sure if that mattered. We'll find out later in the run. Gyarados, we don't have much of an answer for. It's either Water Pulse or Ice Beam. They seem to have overlapping damage ranges. However, we crit an Ice Beam. Second time this fight, meaning Gyarados goes down, and the rest of his team should be pretty easy to take out. After going to level 43, in comes Alakazam. Another crit as our third in this fight. I don't think that mattered, though. Alakazam only has 70 special defense, and it was Stab and Rain boosted. After picking up the Lapras to give us access to the Strength HM, we don't need Surf because we can teach it to Kyogre, we're able to take on the final Rocket fight against Giovanni. First up is Nidorino, one shot with Water Pulse. Next up, Nidoqueen is weak to water, one shot with Water Pulse. What did you expect? Kangaskhan is not weak to water, and hits a Fake Out for a whole 16 damage before Water Pulse almost gets the one shot. After a useless Tail Whip, Ice Beam gets the job done. Kyogre goes to level 44, and for some reason, a Rhyhorn comes in who we just polish off the face of this earth with a Water Pulse. Now that the Rocket subplot is done, we can pick up the Master Ball that we're not going to use in this run, and earn the right to take on back-to-back gym leaders, that being Sabrina and Koga. Only 3:36 on the clock thus far, and we're pretty much over halfway done with the game. I love to go with Sabrina first due to our really good special defense, meaning that her Psychic types probably aren't going to be doing a ton of damage to us. First up is Kadabra, and due to its like 3 defense stat, we one-shot it with a Body Slam, leading into Mr. Mime. I go for a Body Slam as it sets up a barrier, although Water Pulse would have got the one-shot as we see here after a Hyper Potion. In comes Venomoth, who I don't know why the Psychic Gym Leader has a Poison type. Also, I don't learn Hydro Pump because Surf is better. Water Pulse, though, is pulling its own weight for now, one-shotting the Venomoth, leading into Alakazam, who goes down to a single Water Pulse, earning us another damageless gym battle. Kyogre is absolutely busted. This run has been ridiculously easy, and I'm having a ton of fun doing it. We get the best move for Kyogre coming up now, being Surf, 95 power, 100 accuracy, Stab, Rain boosted. There is absolutely nothing that any of the threats remaining in the game are going to be able to do to us with access to Surf, unless you have Water Absorb, even Resisted, even Quad Resisted with the Rain and the Stab boost, and 150 special attack. I ain't worried about it. Here's Koga. Here comes Coughing. Goodbye. Next up, Muck. Good bulk. Don't matter. Goodbye. Next up, Coughing. What do you think's gonna happen? Goodbye. And Wheezing. Pretty solid bulk. Comparable level. Goodbye. And if you know what's coming next, I don't need to bother commentating over it. I'm gonna just show you guys a quick montage of Blaine and Giovanni, the quote-unquote best gym leaders in the game. After that little quick XP grind, I head over to the power plant to pick up TM25 Thunder, which if you know anything about that, it has perfect accuracy in the rain, meaning that Kyogre is guaranteed to nail opponents with a base 110 power electric move. I'm not going to teach it yet though, however, since Body Slam has more PP and should be more useful in Victory Road. Right before that though, it's time to take on the rival. As per usual, Ice Beam one-shots Pidgeot and actually doesn't one-shot Venusaur. However, it doesn't go for Sleep Powder, just hitting a pretty strong Razor Leaf. However, we hang on, meaning that we get past it, taking out Rhyhorn in one hit. Gyarados can be a problem for us, however, we do have Body Slam and Ice Beam, both of which are neutral. Ice Beam is obviously going to do more though since we were intimidated and have better special attack, meaning if you get the job done. He still has Growlithe for some reason, my guy's allergic to Firestones, I guess. And obviously Alakazam, due to its frailty, goes down in a single Surf as well, meaning that we get past the rival, earning the right to go through a Victory Road and take on the Elite Four. 5:09 on the clock. Kyogre is far ahead of both Groudon and Lugia thus far, meaning that unless it has an abhorrent Elite Four, it is easily going to be at the top of the list of legendaries so far. We've only done 3, but Kyogre has been by far the best. First up is Lorelei, and we don't want to let her have a chance to set up the Hail. Thankfully for us, we outspeed and Thunder one-shots the Dugong, obviously being super effective and high base power. Cloyster has horrible special defense, going down in one super effective Thunder. And comes Slowbro, who has pretty good special defense, but Thunder gets the job done. Next up is Jinx. I should have gone for Surf, and since we went for Thunder, it doesn't get the one-shot and we get put to sleep. However, we have great special defense, and Jinx just goes for really soft Ice Punches. Even though she gets a crit, we're still at 137 HP before waking up and taking her down, leaving just Lapras, who after one Thunder manages to survive and hit a Confuse Ray. However, due to the Citrus Berry, I thought she wasn't going to heal, however she did, and we hit ourselves in Confusion. This could get bad as I go for a stupid Surf, even though she has Water Absorb. I'm stupid, but we roll a good Thunder this time, getting the one shot and getting past Lorelei without a reset. Groudon fuming right now. Next up is Bruno, who is always a joke, and I don't think that's going to be any different here. Onyx, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, let's go for Ice Beam, why not? Let's mix it up. Almost level 58. Hitmonchan has good special defense, but Surf plus Stab plus Rain obviously gets the job done. Hitmonlee, also same thing, good special defense, but we get the job done. Machamp has worse special defense, even though he's a higher level, so it gets the job done. And Onyx, why not mix it up with an Ice Beam, take him out in one hit, and pick up an easy damageless victory over the Hiker Bruno. Next up is Agatha, who, you know, can go either way, depending on if she gets good Hypnosis luck or not. Fortunately, we do outspeed all of our Pokemon thanks to our good base 90 speed plus badge boost plus level advantage. Surf takes care of Gengar, Ice Beam takes care of Golbat, in comes Arbok. I go for Ice Beam, I should have gone for Surf. It gets up a Screech, unfortunately, but whatever, we take it out on the next turn. I think I was just trying to conserve PP as Gengar comes in, goes down in a single Surf. Obviously just leaving behind Haunter, but if we outsped Gengar, we outspeed Haunter, as we get back-to-back damageless victories over Elite Four members, leaving just Lance. Now, fortunately for us, we have Ice Beam, and if you know anything about Lance, he don't like Ice Beam. So with 5:50 on the clock, we save in front of Lance, and it's time to take on the quote-unquote Dragon Master himself. And unlike the Johto games, at least he has some pure Dragon types, being 2 Dragonairs. First off is Gyarados, but now we have Thunder, and with perfect accuracy, we zap the Water Flying type out of the air, leading into Dragonair. Ice Beam, easy one-shot. And comes second Dragonair, Ice Beam, easy one-shot. As long as we outspeed Dragonite, it should be an easy one-shot. Even though he's higher level, we get the outspeed thanks to the badge boost. Aerodactyl will outspeed, however, it goes for Ancient Power, doesn't get the Omni boost, and we one-shot it, growing to level 60, and is taking a measly 21 damage from Lance, earning us the right to take on our rival for the right to be the champion of the Kanto region with 0 resets. 5:54 on the clock. Can we get an under 6-hour time for Kyogre? Let's find out. It's Red versus Blue, the classic champion battle, except Red has a box legendary on his side. First up is Pidgeot, I go for Thunder, which gets the one-shot, obviously, it being super effective. In comes Venusaur, I go for Ice Beam, and we do not get the one-shot. He goes for Growth after getting frozen and immediately thawing out. However, a Hyper Potion means that we can outspeed 2 more times and take out our rival starter with a couple more Ice Beams. In comes Alakazam, it's frail, and one single Surf polishes off the Psychic type, leading into Rhydon. What do you think is going to happen? Quad effective. Goodbye, Rhydon. In comes Gyarados, his last threat. But not really, because we have Thunder, downing it in one hit. After going to level 61, last is Arcanine. Obviously, we one-shot it after an extreme speed. And Kyogre has absolutely dominated Pokemon Fire Red, defeating the champion at level 61 with 0 resets. We needed to use a held item. I didn't even bother flipping the berries, because we never came close to losing any fights, besides against our rival on Nugget Bridge. As you can see, yep, Kyogre's in the Hall of Fame, level 61, 0 resets, and 5:58 on the clock, earning it firmly the top spot amongst legendaries. Kyogre, I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but it absolutely dominated this game. It wasn't even close. Groudon struggled with the Elite Four and the champion, especially with the Blastoise's ability to set up the rain and get rid of the sun. meaning that we couldn't fire off one-turn solar beams anymore. But Kyogre didn't have that problem. Lorelei could have set up hail, but we outsped and pretty much one-shot everything with Thunder, besides Lapras, who doesn't have the ability to set up hail. So yeah, this was a pretty fun run. I think I did it in about 2 hours of real time, and I don't think that anyone's going to be passing Kyogre anytime soon. I want to thank everyone who voted on the poll, because I was able to get a clearer picture on what I can do next. Kyogre won, Deoxys came in second, then Celebi, then last but not least, I believe, was Latios. I do plan to do all of those eventually, so if you want to look at more legendary speedruns, I would appreciate it if you could comment on the next polls that I put out. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike, comment, tell me why. I don't really care. I love viewer feedback, I love reading comments, and I'll see you guys in whatever comes next. Thank you for watching.